Well, good evening, Beaumont. Glad you all could be with me. The good news is an illegal alien has just been sentenced to 20 years in prison for assaulting an ICE agent. Not like the guy that threw the sandwich at him, but this guy is a really bad guy. His name is Diego Baron Esquivel, and he's a criminal illegal alien from Mexico. But he violently assaulted an ICE agent earlier this year. He tried to choke him to death using his own badge lanyard. Fortunately, another agent came up about that point in time and cut the lanyard with a knife before he could finish choking him out. Unfortunately, our ICE agents have experienced a 1,150% increase in violence against them as they go out to arrest the worst of the worst. Now, this is something ICE has been doing for decades, but only since the American media turned against America have we had this problem. And that's why ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSDNC, NPR, they should all lose their broadcast licenses because they are not operating in the best interest of the American people. In fact, they're deliberately helping, aiding, and abetting our enemies, which that used to be called treason. Anyways, Secretary Noem, who's not only very astute, she's kind of cute. She said, if you lay a hand on any of our law enforcement professionals, we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So, Mr. Esquivel, who slipped into the United States through the bathroom window at an unknown time and location, violently resisted his arrest in Wichita, Kansas, on February the 28th. He punched one of the agents in the face and head and then strangled the other one with his badge cord, and he got away. But they caught him a little bit later. This illegal alien has been accused of repeatedly harassing his ex-wife at the time of his run-in with ICE agents. He has an extensive criminal rap sheet, which includes arrest for domestic battery, he's a wife beater, felony theft, possession of drug paraphernalia, damage to property, molestation of an automobile. And then you've got to ask yourself, in spite of these dozens of crimes that he committed, did he get caught every time he committed a crime? Or did he perhaps commit as many as 10 more for every one that he got caught for? These are bad people. Anyway, since President Trump has returned to the White House, there have been 238 assaults on ICE officers. And these numbers these should not be here. Incredible increase. The Department of Justice previously apprehended 10 suspects accused of coordinating an armed July 4th attack on the ICE building in Alvarado, Texas, just up there by Dallas, and shooting a local police officer as well. On September 24th, 29-year-old Joshua John was the patsy, allegedly fired multiple rounds atop a Dallas rooftop with the purported intention of hitting ICE agents, but unfortunately, he only shot other illegal aliens, which, if you ask me, he was a patsy, and the objective was to kill these illegal aliens that might be able to testify against one of the drug cartels. That's what I think anyhow. Now this. Federal prosecutors have charged a longtime California welfare worker for carrying out a fraud scheme over many years. And this is really interesting. Former Madera County eligibility worker Leticia Mariscal, age 55, the prosecutors have charged that she stole tens of thousands of dollars of SNAP benefits by exploiting her access to the county databases. CalFresh is California's version of SNAP, and according to the Justice Department, the alleged scheme took place between December 2020 and April 2025. It's working really well. She just couldn't stop herself. She was accused of improperly accessing identifying information for elderly people and deceased individuals. When she found someone that was dead, she approved those individuals for CalFresh benefits. And then she printed EBT cards in their name, and then the benefits were deposited onto the card, and then she spent that herself. Federal authorities say that she used more than 15 different dead people for this scheme. Allegedly, she stole about $40,000, but I suspect it was probably more than that. This case came to light after the son of a 91-year-old woman who was living in a nursing home questioned why his mother was receiving food assistance because, well, he was no longer with us. Investigators confronted Mariscal with security footage, according to the complaint. She admitted to the conduct after she saw she was caught. She then attempted to shift the blame to a former boyfriend that she described as a gang member. She said that she carried out the fraud because she was afraid he would hurt her if she didn't. So she was placed on leave after the fraudulent activity was discovered. The investigation was conducted by the FBI with the assistance of the Madera County DA's office. If she's convicted, she could be looking at 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. But knowing how corrupt the courts are, it's more likely that she'll get a slap on the wrist and allowed to continue her nefarious lifestyle. Well, of course, no doubt by now you've heard about Michaela Ponce, the California nurse that decided to berate an elderly woman who was working at Target because she was wearing a red T-shirt that had Charlie Kirk's name on it and the American flag on the back. Well, this really incensed her. So here's the video, and I'm going to try to bleep out all of the bad words that she used, the vulgar language.
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes. Why?
So,
why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not
It's
a
a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you stupid?
No.
Why the would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with
You're not. You should go get your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
That's your opinion.
The opinion is he's a and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am.
And you should not be allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your. That's insane. Insane.
Have a nice day.
Piece of shit.
Well, anyway, that video didn't go down quite the way she thought it would because, first of all, she didn't know that Charlie Kirk was not a racist. Charlie Kirk didn't have a racist bone in his body. The other thing she didn't know was that Charlie Kirk loved everybody, and he especially loved Jesus and this country. So there's no reason for anyone to hate on Charlie Kirk. There's no reason for him to be murdered. Tolerance used to mean that you would coexist with people, but in this case, Miss Shayla Ponce, I don't know how you pronounce it, Michaela, I don't know. She was that mother of ballers on TikTok, and she just really couldn't put up with someone just supporting Charlie Kirk, the fact that he was a patriot. So anyway, what's really interesting about this is, first of all, she's a nurse, and the particular company she's working for has fired her because they realized, just as you and I realized, you do not want someone entrusted with the health care of other people who is that hateful, because that is just pure and simple hateful. No respect for your elder. This woman was more than twice her age, and this woman's husband had just died recently, so she's working to survive, and constant use of the F-bombs, absolutely not acceptable. The good news is Michaela's mother actually posted an apology where she apologized for her daughter because she said, we did not condone use of that kind of language in our home, and we are deeply saddened that our daughter displayed herself in this way. So that's good news. Now, the other good news is simply this. My other favorite guy on the internet, Nez, at Nez Nation on YouTube, you should subscribe if you haven't, put up a GoFundMe for her, and they raised $250,000 for this woman that's working at Target, and we are just grateful for that, because since her husband died, this is going to make sure that she does not have to work at Target anymore. Her name is Jeannie, and we're just really ecstatic over the fact that this could happen. She did an interview with Keys Gigantos in Northern California, and Jeannie showed remarkable magnanimity toward healthcare employee Michaela Ponce. She said, I don't want her to lose her job. She said, that wouldn't be right. Two wrongs don't make a right. But she was working for that health company, which I'm not going to name. But nonetheless, the health company did the right thing. They fired her, and that's what should have happened. But Miss Janine Beeman here, she didn't deserve this, Jeannie Beeman. And so I'm just really, really happy that they've come up with this GoFundMe, that it has made her a lot of money. And now she's going to have a very good Christmas indeed. Finally, D.C. Police Chief, black female Pamela Smith, who is not married to anyone that we can tell. She looks pretty butch, but she had ordered her police officers to lower crime statistics in Washington, D.C. by, quote, any means necessary. And she encouraged them to categorize some violent offenses as nonviolent. So the findings cast a lot of doubt on the city's data, showing that violent crime fell by 35% and property crime by 11% last year. In fact, now we know that Donald Trump is the one that's really responsible for a lot of the crime going away in Washington, D.C. But 4 types of violent crime, property crimes, are usually reported to the public every day, including homicide, sexual abuse, assault with a dangerous weapon, robbery, burglary, motor vehicle theft, and theft from a vehicle. All of these were being underreported and occasionally not being reported at all. What a deal. Anyway, a committee informed Bowser's office, Mayor Muriel Bowser, you might recall it. She's one of 2 people that were the last ones to see Seth Rich alive when he was admitted to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. She got this, and she was apparently not happy with it. But they interviewed all 7 D.C. police commanders assigned to various specific geographic zones to vet allegations that cops were being told to underreport or not report. So for years, they sought approvals from superiors when making charges in an ambiguous circumstance, but the committee said that Smith had typically required that they all be approved directly from her team before they would be reported. So the commanders established that Chief Smith expected that the commanders must make their superiors aware before these crimes were reported so that they could be underreported. This way, you can lower crime statistics without actually lowering crime. One D.C. police commander said there was an aversion to making assault with a dangerous weapon charges, and that an executive assistant chief of police required at least one such case to be labeled as endangerment with a firearm, since the shooter missed his intended target. So the chief required an approval process to begin before the classification is made, and the numbers are then drawn from those offenses. Second police commander said they were shocked by burglaries being categorized as unlawful entry. Anyway, all right, this is the end of an era, and they have replaced her. We'll see if the new guy does any better. See you guys tomorrow.